The boy who says, "So what?" all the time. Garry was a smart boy who loved to do things in his own way. But there was one habit that kept getting in his way. Whenever someone tried to give him advice or help him improve, or whenever someone shared something exciting with him, Garry would shrug and say, "So what?" Or sometimes he'd say, "Or what?" His parents, teachers, and even his friends would try to guide him, but Garry wasn't interested. He didn't want to listen. "I don't see why this matters. It must not be serious." One afternoon, while exploring his house, Garry stumbled upon a small door he'd never noticed before. It opened into a quiet, dimly lit room. Inside the room, there was only one thing: a shiny golden switch on the wall with a sign above it that read, "The So What Switch." Curiously, Garry reached up and flicked it. As soon as he did, the lights in the room flickered and went out. "Uh-oh," Garry muttered. But then a voice came from somewhere in the darkness. "You've activated the So What switch." "Who's there?" Garry called out, stepping cautiously. "I'm the So What switch," the voice replied, sounding a bit playful. "And I'm here to help you turn down or shut the light even when people are still in the room." Garry scratched his head. "So you help me shut people out? Cool." "No," the voice said firmly. "I help you shut out connections. Just like flicking me makes the light go out. But remember, there are consequences. You'll see." Garry was intrigued, but he didn't fully understand what the switch was all about. A scene appeared in front of him. His dad walked into the room holding a basketball. "Hey, Garry, I think you'd really improve your basketball skills if you practiced your dribbling more," his dad said with a smile. As usual, Garry wasn't listening. He just shrugged and said, "So what?" Before his dad could respond, the lights flickered again. The room became even darker, and Garry felt a strange chill. "So you don't even want to try to get better at it?" his dad asked. "I said, so what?" Garry repeated, not realizing the weight of his words. The light grew dimmer, and Garry felt a little uneasy. His dad stood there, silently. The room felt colder, lonelier. Then, in a different scene, Garry's sister came into the room holding her report card. "Look, Garry, I got an A on my math test. You can do it too if you put in more effort," she said, proud of her achievement. Garry rolled his eyes. "Or what?" he muttered, not wanting to hear it. As soon as the words left his mouth, the lights went out completely. The room felt as if it was swallowed by darkness, with Garry's sister standing awkwardly. "Why are you acting like that?" his sister asked, hurt by his words. "I'm just trying to encourage you." Garry didn't know what to say. The darkness felt heavy, like a wall between him and his sister. "Why do you always turn down and even off the lights?" Garry asked. "People and I are still in the room." The So What switch's voice responded, "Well, Garry, that's what I do." The words, "so what," are more powerful than just turning off the light. They turn off the connection between you and others. People stop wanting to talk to you because they feel like you don't care. And when the light goes off, the conversation dies too. Garry thought for a moment. He realized that every time he said "so what," he was pushing his dad, sister, and friends away. No one wanted to talk to him anymore. He could almost feel the distance growing. The So What switch continued. "If you want to stay connected with people, you should not use me, especially when people are trying to help, offer advice, or share something important with you. I'm only supposed to be used when someone says something unkind or tries to drag you into something bad. You can flick me to shut out negativity, but not when someone is trying to help or encourage you. Garry nodded slowly. He understood now that the switch wasn't something to rely on all the time. It was there to protect him from things he didn't need, not to shut down the people who cared about him. The So What switch then shared some practical steps to help Garry keep the light on in his relationships. 1. Show interest. Instead of saying, "So what?" when someone offers advice, try asking questions such as, "Why does this matter?" or "How can I do better?" Showing genuine interest keeps the conversation open and makes others feel heard. 2. Respond thoughtfully, not dismissively. Instead of saying "or what" when someone challenges or encourages you, try responding with, "Thanks, I'll think about it." Thoughtful responses show that you consider others' points of view rather than rejecting them outright. 3. Express your feelings respectfully. Instead of saying, "So what?" or "what?" when you're frustrated, try saying, "I'm frustrated and I don't feel like talking right now," or something similar. Being respectful, even when you're upset, keeps the light on. 4. Understand the impact of words. Instead of using "so what" to shut people down, try remembering that every time you say "so what," the light goes out, not just in the room, but in your relationships too. Being mindful of your words helps keep the light on and relationships strong. From that day forward, Garry started paying attention to how his words affected others. He realized that turning off the light was not something he wanted to do. It only made him feel lonely in the dark. Now, he stopped himself from saying "so what" all the time and chose to listen, respond with kindness, and keep the light shining brightly for everyone around him. The end.